Who's wrong and who's wronger? In this corner, followed by millions, James the Exploding Unicorn Breakwell. And in that corner, ignored by millions, Steve Dash Rinko Levers.
Hello and welcome to Wrong and Wronger. Today we're going to talk about rice because we can't talk about anything that even leans into controversy, even though my esteemed co-host, James the Exploding Unicorn Breakwell, is coming to you from his bed. He is infirm today. He is hampered by something I can't even say out loud. I cannot speak the name into existence, but thank God, James, you are still with us, my friend.
So first of all, I heal and instantly recover from anything, and I'm not currently sick at all, except being sick of you. The reason I'm recording from bed is not because I'm ill, but because I got tired of rearranging this entire bedroom every time we do this stupid podcast. So I thought, I wonder if I could just sit on my bed and just prop my phone up in front of me. So that's where we are, and we're going to see. But actually, as much as you try to play this off as just a regular bland episode, there is a mystery that popped up today, and in this episode, we are going to get to the bottom of it.
What happened?
Well, first of all, you don't know how phones operate, so you called my wife instead of me.
Oh,
and
first of all, this is your fault. I can't believe you bring this up and throw me under the bus.
Of course I'm going to throw you under the bus. Sometimes I have you call her phone because we have to juggle like 19 phones back and forth to record and talk to each other. But this time I needed you to call my daughter's phone. And I sent you a text in a very timely fashion.
When?
You still called my wife. She had to walk up 95 stairs to get me the phone for me to tell her, no, he's got to call a different phone. And then when you finally called the right phone, the name that popped up was not Steve Olivas. It was Kristen Malone. Who is Kristen Malone? What kind of double life are you leading over there?
Kristen Malone. She's the daughter of the mailman, Carl Malone, who I think you actually follow basketball, so you might know the reference.
I do know that reference because he lost to the Bulls about 100 times in a row in the finals.
That's exactly right. But let's take one thing at a time as we unpack how Breakwell is ruining Olivas' life. Just for my own edification, James, when did that spurious text come into my phone?
It came in at a very timely 1:59.
What time do we record?
2. You had a full 60 seconds. You should have been waiting at your phone. I don't know where else your phone would be. Like, when you record, you just like toss it in a lockbox and not look at it for the next 2 hours?
James, I've got a whole Rube Goldberg set up to try to hold my phone up while we're recording this on my phone. So yes, it is essentially out of commission while I'm getting ready. And furthermore, because I never call you on my phone, I put it in airplane mode because God knows when that one call came through a couple weeks ago, it ruined your life, at least temporarily. When you had
We
to
have been
splice.
recording together for 3 years, and in 3 years, only one time has somebody bothered to call you, and it was one time too many. It completely wrecked the podcast.
So the last I heard, you wrote, call my wife's number today because I don't know what you're doing in your bedroom with the doors shut and everyone else out of the house. I can only imagine you're not wearing pants. We can't see you from the waist down. But my point is, I called exactly who you told me to call, which was your wife's phone, and lo and behold, she answered. And we had quite an awkward conversation because this was the first she'd heard of it.
The last time I told you to call her phone was like 3 weeks ago. Are those just standing instructions? Does time have no meaning to you? It's like, well, at one point you said to call his wife. Obviously, that stands for all time. So like 9 years down the road, I'm still going to call that number. Second of all, everybody is home because we had a certain plague run through the family. Everybody got quarantined because of me. However, my quarantine is up tomorrow, so starting tomorrow, I can ditch this family and just run amok on the countryside, and they're all still stuck at home. It's going to be marvelous. But for right now, one of the many reasons I'm recording up here is I've got like 95 kids downstairs currently doing Zoom calls, so it's a bit of chaos down there.
Sure.
And then on top of that, I have to talk to you, and you don't know how to operate a phone. So yeah, it's been a day.
By the way, because you can't remember what you did 5 minutes ago, the text you sent me to call Lola's phone was maybe not even 2 hours ago. Like we had a conversation about what time we're going to record, and you said call her phone.
I can't pull up the conversation because I'm recording with that particular phone. But there is, at no point in that did I instruct you to call her phone.
The word
at no
Lola
point.
is right in the conversation.
No.
Oh
no,
my
it's
God.
not. Can you pull it up right now? Am I going to have to stop this recording and restart it? You are a liar, Steve Olivas. A liar.
My God.
I said, do you want to record tonight? And you said, I'm free all afternoon. I said, that works for me. Let's record it too.
But there's more to this.
That's it. That's the whole conversation.
But you're probably going to have to call Lola's phone.
I do not recall ever typing that. And I
This
also
is my
don't ever
point.
use... I don't use the word probably around you because I am decisive. I am the leader of this duo, and every instruction I give is definitive. There's no maybe or probably or I guess. It's all there or it's not.
Now, whose phone am I talking on right now?
You are talking on my 10-year-old Betsy's phone, her brand new phone. We got her this thing. She's finally connected to the world, and then I took it away so I could talk to you. So clearly this is a misuse of technology.
Lola has to catch like a helicopter to get up wherever you are on top of Breakwell Manor. And when she gets there, she says, oh, you're going to have to call Betsy's phone. As if I have Betsy's number. Just kind of, hey, I wrote it on the palm of my hand.
Because I texted it to you. And let me tell you something. I have never called that number before. It is a brand new number. And finding that number was a job, okay? I did some digging. There were some technology challenges. I couldn't figure it out. I finally had to use her phone to call my phone. And then it wouldn't let me save the contact. So I had to write it down. And then I texted it to you with a full minute to spare. And then you call my wife like I've never communicated with you in my life. It just, I can't believe we've made it 3 years doing this. I really can't.
Apparently you've never communicated with your wife in 3 years either, but that's something that I don't want to get into because I did want to address this Crystal Malone issue.
Kristen Malone. Don't change the name on me.
Kristen Malone. My mistake. I
Yes.
mistook her for her evil twin sister, Crystal. Boy, the Malone girls, I tell you what. One of them was kind of fun at parties, but the other one, I don't know. But so I'm calling you from my office phone, which A, like you and Betsy, I have no idea what the number is. And B, I don't know that I've ever called anyone who has the old style caller ID where the name pops up with the number. Like nowadays, it's just the number unless it's one of your contacts, right?
I don't know. This is a brand new phone. This phone is like, it's like 3 weeks old. Now, it's not a top of the line phone. It's like a 3-week old phone that has like 3-year-old technology. But yeah, names pop up on phones. Like when you call me, I see your name and it makes me sad every time. But I know it's you.
It's because my name is in your contact list. Isn't that why?
I have no idea, but your name is definitely not in Betsy's contact list because I have to
that's
approve
what
her
I'm
contacts.
saying.
I would never in a million years approve you.
Well,
Even though I
apparently
did specifically...
Kristen's-
Yeah, although I did need you to call her phone today, so I might have to revisit that stance.
Well, you just assumed I knew the number when you were talking to Lola 10 minutes ago, so obviously you thought, oh, well, he's probably just look at your last text message thread. But so this is the office phone at my office, my work office, not upstairs in my house. I've never heard the name Kristen Malone before you brought it up. And you brought it up as if I knew what it was because you assumed I knew what it
it's
was.
you.
But I will say this, that is one of maybe 6 names that are associated with this particular office suite. I will get mail. And I will say this, and I don't know if this has to get bleeped out, James, but I get gay porn catalogs in my mail slot about once every 3 or 4 months addressed to one particular person. I have a brand new computer sitting over on my file cabinet that is still unopened because I don't know the legalities of this, but I thought this is to another person who used to be here, neither of which is named Kristen Malone, mind you. I've got a stack of mail for various businesses. I don't know what to do with the stuff, but it's sitting around in case anyone ever knocks on my door and says, do you have my stuff? The computer, by the way, came right after I moved in about 2 years ago. It sat right there unopened in the box ever since.
There's a lot to unpack there. So first of all, I think on the gay porn you're getting unsolicited. I think we're good. I don't think anybody's gonna be offended by that. I think we're on safe footing on that one.
right.
I'm a little more concerned about the computer though. So you had is it a laptop or a desktop?
Hang on. I will whip the camera. That box right there that says CDW, I believe it's a computer. It says electronic equipment, and it's roughly the size that a laptop would come in.
So you have a laptop sitting there and you never thought to like return to sender, but you also didn't think to use it. You just set it on the ground and left it there. I mean, I'm sure that whatever technology's in there is now 2 years out of
Yeah,
date. It's probably
yeah.
an unusable laptop.
Yeah.
And whoever ordered that, they probably filed a claim and some poor UPS driver probably got fired because you received a laptop and neither stole it nor returned it. You just left it where it was, like it had more of a right to the office than you do. I question your decision making at every stage of this process.
James, I forgot about this part. There was a run of about 2 months where the FedEx guy and me knew each other by first name because he showed up almost every day with a box of, do you know what those Ensure like nutrition shakes are for old people?
Yes, I am aware, not through personal experience, but through association with you, aka an old person.
I have had plenty of personal experience, interactions, and delicious times with those because I swear to God, I started bringing them home to my wife. Like, we probably got 20 cases of this stuff. There was a doctor's office in here at one point. And I've got it in my storage room. I've been drinking them every day. They're in my refrigerator. Like, I can't get rid of this stuff fast enough. Finally, the tide was stemmed, and I no longer get them delivered every day.
But once again, you did not return to sender. You just drank them. What was the line? Why did you not use the laptop, but you did use the Ensure? What made those two morally distinct?
The Ensure is perishable. Like, there's an X date on it. So I thought, well, all right. If I get one case of these, I got 12 bottles. What am I going to do? Like 119 bottles later, I was already committed to this crime. You understand?
Okay, so we do open the Ensure. We don't open the laptop.
Yeah.
What about the gay porn? Do you open the gay porn, or do you just know it's gay porn from the cover? Because I got to imagine that comes in like a brown envelope or something.
it
There had to
comes-
be some opening.
Well, I know way more about this industry than I need to, James. It's a very nondescript envelope, and the company name is like like the one on the laptop box is CDW. That could very well be what's on the gay porn envelope. I don't remember the name, but it's interesting because there is an envelope inside that envelope that is completely unmarked. And that one you have to open to get to not only the catalog, but there are like little leaflets in there with different products that they're like featuring that month. And there's order forms. It's a whole thing, man.
But how often would you say you get this particular product in the mail?
I would guess 3 or 4 times a year. It's either quarterly or every 4 months, right in that.
Okay, just enough to tide you over then. Okay, so we're clear. It's like, that last one's all used up. I could really use a fresh supply.
Oh my God. Wow.
Now this is at your office where you do whatever it is you do for your day job.
Yes.
Like, do you just leave this sitting out? I mean, no judgment here. It's like, all right, everybody's into different stuff. If this is your thing, here it is on the coffee table.
I don't want Father O'Malley walking in and see me leafing through this thing. So it comes out of the envelope only so that we can thin the herd a little bit and stick it through my shredder. I can't. The whole
that's
bulky
why.
envelope won't go through.
Well, I feel like now we've gone through all of this. I mean, it's pretty clear that the sanctity of mail means nothing to you. So I feel like the whole point of this episode now needs to be, I think you need to open that box, the one that you assume is a laptop, but could be something completely different. What if it's not even electronic? What if it's something perishable? It's just been sitting there for 2 years rotting, and you don't even know.
It's like a kitty or something that now it's dead. We got Schrodinger's cat in my office.
Well, we won't know till you open it.
Maybe we'll have an unveiling next week. I'll bring a utility knife in next week, and you want to pop that sucker open next week?
I do. I absolutely. I don't want to wait till next week. I don't have that kind of attention span. I don't remember what we talked about. I want to open it right now.
The problem I have, and this is why I didn't open it in the first place. By the way, there's been a number of, if the mail looks important, like it's not junk, I will put not at this address and then put it back in the mailbox. The problem I had with the laptop was I don't want to lug this thing back down to the UPS store. Like, this is not my battle. And two, I don't want to open it because I don't know if there's like a tracer in there that as soon as it connects to the Ethernet, now the FBI knows that I've stolen this thing because it's been reported missing by some company. I don't want to have to look over my shoulder for the rest of my life, James.
Well, I think you probably shouldn't have admitted that you know how return to sender works. You probably should have just told me you didn't know that was a concept. But now that we've established that you do send back some mail and not other mail, the fact that you kept the laptop in particular, or whatever it is, and again, it could be anything, is all the more bewildering.
Let me
what if it's... Maybe it's associated with this particular gentleman's magazine. Maybe it's they were like, we know you're not the old-fashioned kind. We're not going to keep sending you magazines. This time it's all loaded on the hard drive. You could be missing the mother load right there.
Hold on, I was gonna show the shipping label, but it has the guy's name and business name on. So let me not do that.
Is it your address? Did they ship it to the right address?
Yes. It was. Go ahead.
Like, try to Google him? Like, look him up? I mean, surely he didn't go that far. I mean, he's in Nashville. Nobody ever leaves Nashville. You just go there and you stay till you die. There's no way out.
I don't know what happened to the business or the guy. It's not, by the way, just in case, it's not the guy on the gay porn mail. So I don't know
they are
what that's
separate.
about.
Okay. Is it the person who got the insure though? I mean, again, there's lots of
Different person again. That's what I'm saying. This whole Kristen Malone thing is bizarre because that adds another name to the long and expanding list.
I mean, if you want to get... I don't think phone lines work like you think. Like, do you have voice over internet, or is this an actual old-fashioned through-the-wall phone line?
That I'm talking on right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is an actual through-the-wall, old-fashioned phone line.
I didn't realize, like, phone numbers, I didn't think they were associated with a physical line anymore. Like, I thought because if you move, like, they can forward your phone number, and they don't go and physically forward that phone line.
Right.
So I don't think that phone number is necessarily associated with your office at all. I think it's just completely random. And I really feel sorry now. I mean, what are the odds? Like, maybe this Krista Malone is one of our 4 listeners, and we're throwing her name all over the place, totally blowing her privacy.
Well, I have her porn catalogs. I need her to get down here right away. It's not even... Well, anyway, I don't want to get down into that hole, but pardon me on that pun, too.
Yeah.
But the point... What are we doing on this episode, James? I feel exposed and vulnerable right now.
I guess we're going through your mail history. Apparently, that's right. There's a whole new side of you, Steve the mail thief, that I didn't know. But you're not quite a thief. But you're not like a mail good Samaritan either. You're in some like amorphous gray zone in between. The keeper of the laptop, and are there any other products we should know about? We got the gay porn, we got the laptop, we got the insure. Is there anything else coming in with that the listeners should know about?
I had forgotten about the insure until we started talking about this. But there's still a bunch in my fridge. And if you drink down like half a bottle of Dr. Pepper and add the insure to it, like it's good. It's like a creamsicle. It's outstanding. I don't think there's anything else. There's nothing else noteworthy.
What does insure do? Does it keep you regular? Or is it like for people who can't chew through food? Like what's the premise there?
Yeah, it's the latter of those. That I think it's to give nutrients and calories, protein in particular, to people that can't eat solid food.
And so you saw this and you thought, I, Steve Olivas, am lacking in calories. This is the answer to my problem.
I thought, what can I add to a bottle of Dr. Pepper to spice things up around here?
You lead a wild life, my friend.
Oh, I tell you what, I got the magazines coming in. It's a whole thing here, James. We're going through my mail, and that's both IL and LE mail.
There's you know what? I had no idea what we were going to talk about this episode. This might be our most fascinating episode of Wrong and Wronger ever. I am on the edge of my seat. Now I have to wait a whole week to find out what's in that box.
I will bring in a knife next week. I don't think I even have a scissors here in the office to bust that thing open, but we might go on a little spelunkling expedition next week.
I hope in the middle of the episode the FBI comes crashing through your door. I've just been waiting for it to link up with Wi-Fi.
I'll have to be very careful, and we'll do it under the cover of darkness.
Maybe wrap it in some tinfoil first, just in case.
Like my head. Yes, of course.
Oh, man. Well,
You know, none of this conversation would have even popped up if I wouldn't have had to call your daughter's phone. If things would have gone swimmingly as always, we would have been 19 and a half minutes of content less than where we're at right now.
Okay, so first of all, you think the previous 177 episodes or whatever it was, you think those were smooth? Is that the premise we're going with here? Holy cow.
Seamless.
What are your conversations with other people like that? This is smooth.
Just horrific, I tell you what. Yeah.
One train wreck after another, apparently.
Well, we'd have just been sitting here staring at each other the whole time otherwise, James. So thank goodness I'm
The
calling
beautiful
Betsy's
thing
phone.
is we can't actually see each other, which is the only saving grace of this podcast. Like when I splice this together for the video, I actually put up my hand and block your side of the screen just so I don't have to gaze upon you.
Can I mention, too, somebody pointed out correctly that you have removed me from the intro.
What?
Yes, I'm no longer in the intro.
I have not changed the intro in like 2 years, at least.
No, you did. For
What?
the episode that you did that I wasn't there for, you took me out of the intro because I wasn't in that episode, and you never changed it back. But I know it's a passive-aggressive attempt to say that I am undervalued as a co-host.
So like you're talking about the intro where like it shows my kids dancing and stuff?
Yes.
And then there's the part where it shows you dancing? Did I cut the
Yes.
part with you dancing?
Yes.
That is really weird. Because I thought that's like a solid block video. It's like one thing. Like I previously spliced it together. Because let's be honest, I'm not going to put any more time into this podcast than I absolutely have to.
Obviously
So like,
not.
what's the part where you're dancing? Is there just nothing?
Yes.
This
So
is
you are in the
interesting.
upper left-hand corner and the lower right-hand corner. It used to be that I would sort of pop up when I said my name, and there's nothing that pops up. It just, you keep dancing.
Oh my gosh, this number of steps I'm going to have to go through to get that back makes me physically ill. I'm going to have to go. I wonder how long it's been gone. I'm going to have to go and copy and paste it from some random spot. Oh, why would you tell me this? Who would even notice? That's a gift that you're not in there. And this is upsetting. You
I don't
ruined my
wanna
whole
bring
week. Here I
anyone's
was.
name into this, but I do have some fans, James.
I was on a high. I was on an emotional high. We're going to open a box next week. You're going to get arrested by the FBI. Everything was coming up, James. And then you bring up that I have to go back through and find a video of you dancing. And that's just going to hang over my head for like the next year and a half as I put it off.
Listen,
this is just great.
This is not the power of Christ compel you. This is just me telling you, FYI. You do with it what you will.
Well, you're going back in there. There's no question. I will get you back in there, come hell or high water.
All right.
And you will regret it. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, why would you do that? This is like, I remember when you started putting still photographs, like a screen capture of a moment in our podcast, and it would always seem that you caught yourself in the best light and me making some kind of outrageous facial expression, and I thought this cannot be random after 110 of these.
Well, yeah, you are correct. I would go through and I say, what screen cap do I look good in? And then that was end of criteria, and I just posted it.
Wow. All right. Well, this is the evil that lies in the hearts of men.
It is, but I'd like to congratulate us on making something out of nothing. This might be the most nothing that we've ever made something out of.
Kristen Malone. If you know Kristen Malone, have her get in touch because I got a whole bunch of stuff for her.
Don't do it, Kristen. It's a trap.
Now that you mention it, you're probably right. It was a random phone number that Kristen Malone probably gave up when she moved out of the 615 area code, and it just happened to land on this address. So this is not another name on the list of people who used to be here that I still get stuff for. This is just some poor gal who moved out of the area, and now she's internet famous on Wrong and Wronger.
And her connection to your random mail was completely undeserved. But yet we still transitioned to the mail, and that's where we were supposed to be all along. It was fate.
All right, well, let's get out of here for now. I will remember to bring a box knife next week, and we're going to find out what's in that CDW box. And it does have a warning that there is, whatever those batteries, what is the kind of battery you can't bring on an airplane, James?
It's laptop batteries, I think. That's it. That is a
there's
big clue in favor that it's a laptop.
Yeah, well, that was all part of the trail of clues that I followed to arrive at my conclusion. But we will have definitive evidence next week, just before I repackage it and retape the whole thing in case, the feds show up.
That's the day. That's the day they're coming.
Well, this has been possibly the final episode, and with Steve as a free man of Wrong and Wronger. Tune in next week to find out where you can send nail files baked into Duncan Hines cakes. And probably let's keep James out of that equation because, he's got a family to feed and everything. And what do I have other than this show? Until next week, this is Steve on the Lamb Olivas for James sitting smug Breakwell saying thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Give me something to look forward to from when I come out on the other side. And until next week, always remember, 2 wrongs can make a right.